Hey everyone, welcome to the show. I have news to share about America's defendant, Rudy Giuliani. So first is news about his Arizona case. Giuliani had filed a complaint with the court. He was demanding access to various details about the grand jury. He wanted information about the grand jury members. These are the people who indicted him in the fake elector scheme. So he argued that the grand jury was biased and that their indictment of him was purely political. These were all Democrats on the grand jury. So Maricopa County Superior Court Judge Bruce Cohen is presiding over this case, and he filleted Giuliani in his ruling. The judge wrote in part, quote, "The underlying claim that formulates the request is based upon pure speculation and abject conjecture. He claims that there is concern that the grand jurors that served on the grand jury that indicted defendant Giuliani were selected based upon their political party affiliation. Yet he alleges not one scintilla of information that would support this claim." And the main issue with Giuliani's argument is that this was already a sitting grand jury. These people weren't impaneled for Giuliani and the other defendants in this case. The jury was already in place. They just happened to get the fake electors case. So Judge Cohen also wrote, quote, "There is therefore no reliable information to suggest that the impaneling of this grand jury occurred in contemplation of this case or with a political agenda in mind." And the judge even took it a step further. After he wrote all this, he went and he requested a letter from the grand jury commissioner to confirm that no, these people were not asked about their party affiliation. And so the commissioner's letter stated, quote, "Political party affiliation information as to potential grand jurors was not known or available to the grand jury commissioner or representatives when summoning a potential pool for the 93rd grand jury." So that matter's closed. And then Giuliani had also requested a bunch of information about Arizona voters because he is still apparently trying to prove his, fairy tale about election fraud. So the judge refused that request as well. The judge said, quote, "At least some of the information he seeks is available through a public records request. Further, he seeks information that would be voluminous, including a voter jury list that would be in the millions of identified potential jurors. He also seeks underlying software to which he is not entitled." So, I mean, it just goes to show you, Giuliani didn't even do the basics. He didn't even do a cursory investigation. If some of the information he's looking for is something that you can just ask for, right? You can just submit a public records request and get some of this stuff. He hasn't even done that. 4 years later, after this election that he claims and Donald Trump claims was quote unquote stolen, which we all know is bogus, they didn't even do a public records request for information. That's how either lazy they were or they just knew, I'm not going to waste my time because I know I'm BSing my way through this. This is not real. Oh my God. So anyway, in regard to Giuliani's part in Trump's attempted coup, it was revealed Giuliani accidentally sent a text message to the wrong person. He sent this message trying to get Michigan lawmakers to overturn the election. This came out in one of Jack Smith's legal filings, and it refers to an unindicted co-conspirator. It's very clearly Rudy Giuliani. And it says he sent the following text. This was on December 7th of 2021. Quote, "So I need you to pass a joint resolution from the Michigan legislature that states that the election is in dispute." And he highlighted that part. There's ongoing investigation by the legislature. There wasn't. And the electors sent by Governor Whitmer are not the official electors of the state of Michigan. They were. And do not fall within the safe harbor deadline of December 8th under Michigan law. They did. So, like I said, the problem was he sent that to the wrong person. So, Mr. Four Seasons Landscaping, who would have known that he would screw up and send a text like this to a stranger? He sent a text message to a stranger talking about his coup plot. You cannot make this shit up. These people. I mean, if they weren't so incompetent, it would be even, it is terrifying, but if they weren't so incompetent, it would be even more terrifying. Next is news about the defamation lawsuit filed by former Dominion Voting Systems employee Eric Coomer. So Coomer, you guys might remember, he was scapegoated by Giuliani and other Trump allies. They lied about him. They claimed that he personally rigged the 2020 election. And their lies resulted in death threats against him and his family. They had to go into hiding for a period of time. It was horrible. He has now had to get out of the business because their lies destroyed his credibility in the election systems and, working for Dominion. I mean, it just tainted the company. So Giuliani's attorney is trying to get this suit tossed because Giuliani is claiming that he is protected by something called litigation privilege. So they're arguing that because Giuliani was trying to find witnesses and evidence to prove election fraud, his comments about Coomer were allowed. Well, Coomer's attorney countered that Giuliani never filed a lawsuit against my client, which is very true. It's like, if you thought he did something wrong, you had evidence of that. Why didn't you file a lawsuit? So essentially, Giuliani was just spreading rumors about a private citizen, and this guy ended up losing his livelihood, ended up, losing autonomy, got chased out of town by Trump's terrorists and terrorized. So anyway, we'll see how the judge rules on that. In the meantime, Giuliani is still trying to manipulate the process regarding the defamation case that he lost to Georgia election workers, Freeman and Shaye Moss. I've mentioned in the past, he's played all these games. He hasn't paid them. He's just been mucking up the court system. Well, he has, I think I've mentioned this as well, he has a 1980 Mercedes-Benz. Moss and Freeman are asking the court to order him to sell it or to hand it over to them, and they will sell it. According to Giuliani, though, this specific Mercedes belonged to actress Lauren Bacall. So he told the court this should be considered a collectible and it would be therefore shielded from sale. Now, Giuliani's argument is he plans to appeal this $148 million judgment that was awarded to Moss and Freeman. And if he wins, he could never truly replace this vehicle. Money wouldn't replace it. Another Mercedes wouldn't replace it because it holds a special value because of the fact that Lauren Bacall was the previous owner. Totally understandable, but, make stupid choices, or what is this saying? Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. So Giuliani is also trying to prevent Moss and Freeman from taking possession of his Yankees World Series rings. So this subject of these rings has come up over and over again for months, for probably a year and a half, I'm thinking. Ever since they filed their lawsuit against him, and especially after they won, which was at the beginning of or end of last year. So you would think if they belonged to someone else, it would have come up by now. All of a sudden, Giuliani claims, these rings actually don't belong to me anymore. He is now saying, or I should say his son, Andrew, is now saying that Rudy gifted them to Andrew. So Andrew Giuliani filed a motion with the court, and he's saying, oh, no, my father gifted me these rings in 2018. He shared a picture of him and his wife, and they're holding open these boxes, showing 2 of the rings. There's 4 in total. And he said, this was after Giuliani's 74th birthday party, that he said, oh, son, I want you to have these, son, when I'm gone, blah, blah, blah. Who knows how this is going to shake out, right? Because it's kind of his word and his wife's word against reality, I would say. So we'll see. In the meantime, the judge has frozen one of Giuliani's bank accounts. So this is tied to his latest grift, his coffee brand, his new coffee, the 2 different packages of, strong and morning wake up and all that with his ghoulish face on there. Anyway, Giuliani is trying to shield the profits from this coffee brand. And I mentioned this a while back. He created a separate limited liability corporation. Well, Moss and Freeman are arguing, rightfully, all of that income and all of the assets should be fair game because he created this while they're in the middle of this lawsuit. And he purposely put it under a different name to hide it from them. So the judge hasn't officially ruled on their request yet, but he did slap Giuliani around a little bit in court or in his ruling. Giuliani claims, oh, these funds are exempt, and the judge called that argument, quote, frivolous. And he called Giuliani out for, up till now, failing to pay a single dime that he owes to Moss and Freeman. And this is a Trump-appointed judge, by the way. So the coffee-related account is going to remain frozen until the judge makes a final determination about this money. And at issue, Giuliani is saying, well, not all of that money is mine. I take a portion of it because it's my name, but the people who came to me with the idea, they get a portion of it, so they have to hash that all out. Anyway, I will keep an eye on this for you, and if I hear any more about Giuliani or any of the other coup clowns, I will let you know. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. Please like, please share, and subscribe. Please donate if you can. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.